Hi, this is Sharon from Designs by Sharon Lee, and I'm here to show you this junk journal that I've made honoring Eric Sloane and his pen and ink. I put some feathers on the side, hanging from the side of the 3-inch binding. The binding is large because there's so much to this journal that I wanted to share in it. And there are some charms also on the back end of this. There's a book open, and I believe it's the Bible. And there's a charm saying destiny. Eric Sloane was an artist who not only did pen and ink, but he also did um, some beautiful oil paintings. I have looked him up and researched him. He was just a wonderful artist. I have closed the book with the Tim Holtz plants. I put the Tree of Life on here, just a little silver chain to keep the book closed. I've also put a leather-like paper quill that I made with a ink point on the bottom. It has a little handmade, not handmade, but a machine-made doily that I did, and of course pen ink. And then this paper is all decoupaged on from a napkin, and it is feathers. And I hope you can see that. As we open the book, I'm going to explain to you that I have a little envelope talking about Eric Sloane in this pocket here, and a pen and ink drawing that he did. The book itself was a wonderful find for me, except that some little artists had put their own little imprint on it, so I salvaged some pages. And here is a pullout that I think is quite pretty, quite neat. So I wanted to save that. The little artist had written on the bottom of that one. And these are coffee dyed papers. And here's a tag, a pen and ink tag that pulls out. I'm not going to put the things back because I know that when I do, this takes more time than YouTube allows me to, but I did want to show you his beautiful work. And lots of times in junk journals, you fold the page and you sew it in, and I didn't do it in this particular book because I wanted you to see the full artwork of what I found in the book. And I've also put in some little musings or artistic talks about artists and creativity, and I've done some stamping in the book. And here is a house that he said was oddly built, and then here is a paragraph printed that talks about that house. There's another picture of it in the book, another ink drawing. And here's what I did to make sure we could see the fullness of his artwork. Although that is folded in half in order to make his book work, I have not sewn it down the middle so you only see half the bridge on one side and half the bridge on the other, so you get the full effects of his artwork. As I said, I'm not going to put them back because it takes up a lot of time. And I made envelopes, and I did my own decoupage ink works on the internet. Coffee dyed paper stamped, coffee dyed paper, little tiny book inside this tuck spot here, tuck spot there. More ink work. Here is a covered bridge. A bridge, the Schofield Bridge in Pennsylvania. And this is a householder bridge in southern Ohio. You see, I put some doilies in. This is just a journal spot that I've tucked in there behind that doily. And pen and ink. Here's a pen and ink drawing that he did. This was someone else that did it. And I've tucked in, I didn't tuck anything in that. That was his, just some artist comments and such. And here's some more journaling spots. And here's someone else's artwork, pen and ink drawing of a bird. And then here's one of the drawings that Eric Sloane did. And some more journaling places. And here is the middle page, which is the I can't read upside down. Allegheny Cascade Bridge. And this talks about stone fences, and then on the back of this it shows a stone fence. And I'm going to finger through this as fast as I can so that I get the full thing. Here's part of a drawing that I did that I made into a tag and an envelope with some just pen and ink drawings from other artists, just to add interest to the book. And that's going to fall down. I'll put it back when I get to it. Get back to it. All right. And just a tuck spot with a journaling card. And here's another envelope with a painting in it, with a drawing in it, I should say. And here's a bridge over the East River in Maine. And this one is the Rainbow Bridge. Here's a pen and ink of Amish farmer. And here is, it's called American Ruins, but it's beautiful. Beautiful pen and ink. It's a treasure. He was a treasure. He has passed away now, but his paintings live on, his drawings live on, and I hope they live on through this book, because I did not want to destroy it. Just a tuck spot with someone else's pen and ink. And this is a quote from Van Gogh. The more I think about it, the more I realize there is nothing more artistic than to love others. Vincent Van Gogh. And I'm sure the story was slow about it, but it was upside down. And here is a painting by Vincent Van Gogh that I had a copy of, and it's The Harvest. So I wanted to tuck that in. Vincent was one of my favorite artists. This opens up this way to maple syrup pen and ink. Just a little envelope with someone else's pen and ink in that. And here's the center of this signature. And as you can see, it's Pennsylvania Dutch, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. This book has 3 signatures with an extra surprise at the end, I have to tell you. This is a little tuck spot with a quill and a place to write on the back of that. And here's just some of the else's pen and ink. I thought that was kind of neat, that little bear. So put that in there, and also this picture of a building that gets tucked in behind that doily. And a quill and a ink well again. This is quite an interesting pen and ink. I liked it, so I included it in the book. Just a pen and ink of an owl face, and that's just the way I found it. Didn't cut off his face at all. Someone else just drew it that way. And this is a salvaged piece from the book. And this is just art is the only way to run away without leaving home. I like that one. Get so involved in your work you don't know what's going on around you. Well, guess what? I'm going to put that in afterwards too. Put that back. put a lot of images of quills in here. This is an envelope with some just some paper to write on, and some quotes from people about art. Here's a pen and ink. I love this one. I think about when I doodle sometimes. I don't know if I could make it that look beautiful. I do like to draw, but I'm not anywhere near this man. He's just absolutely fabulous, and I really appreciated his work. Another tuck spot with a journaling card. This is a tuck spot too. I didn't put anything there. I believe anyone who will own this book will enjoy doing something in here. Here's a silhouette, it's called. Another artist drawing there, and here's that other part of the house that he thought was so odd shaped. And then in this envelope is this picture of a barn, and then this picture of the barn. More coffee dye paper. And more. Here's that page, and then we're going into this envelope. And this envelope, and this particular painting, drawing, shows a winter scene, a barn, and, I don't know if home, just a barn. And then this side shows a barn and a house. And the house and the barn are attached together, and that's the way they were and are still. You'll see a lot of them in New England as you drive along some of the roads. And especially Massachusetts and Vermont, you see a lot of them. And this one was where I pulled that picture just out of. And here's a little girl sitting at a desk drawing. I love that picture, so I had to put it in this envelope with some ephemera in it. Here's the napkin that I decoupaged. I included that in as a tuck spot with a journaling card behind it. And a quill attached to the ink jar I stamped on there. Another quill picture here. One tucked behind the belly band. Some more little ephemera kind of pen and ink drawings I found on the internet in a tuck spot. And here is a beautiful home. I believe it's from the south. As nature never lets up, it covers the homes. And here's some rooftops. And it is the back of this particular pen and ink. And then I was able to salvage the back of the book. And here's the back of the book. And that gets tucked into here, and I will put it back in there. And then I did this, I glued this together as a little desktop thing. So that's there. And then in the back of the book, in this pocket, I put another signature in. This signature is made with handmade paper. It has leaves embedded on it. And I said, try your hand at pen and ink. Here's the paper. Here's your supply of paper. You supply the ink. And this is all watercolor paper here. This is the handmade piece of paper here that I put in. And this is all watercolor. And there are probably 10 pages of watercolor if you divide them in half. And then in this section here are some more watercolor paper. And in this part right here, I put another envelope made out of the handmade paper. And this is just some, I believe, 4x6 cards that you can watercolor on or pen and ink on. Take it with you in your purse or wherever, whatever you carry, and you'll have a place to draw or paint as you go. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this book. This is pen and ink. There's the back of the book. This is done with physics feather-like paper, so I've crumpled it up. And as I said, it's a 3-inch spine. I believe it's about a 6x9 book. It's made with chipboard. It's a very sturdy book, and I hope you like it, and I hope you enjoy it. And this is Sharon again, and I will put a link to where you can find this. Take care and God bless.